Today on Florida Sportsman Best Boat. If you're looking for a boat that offers all-around comfort and fishability in an affordable package, we'll be taking a look at the Sea Chaser 22 HFC, a bay boat with an overall length of 21 feet 9 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and max horsepower rating of 250. Standout features on the Sea Chaser 22 HFC. A large bow seating area provides ample space for multiple guests to sit and relax comfortably while enjoying lunch or cruising along the beach. A comfortable helm station is fully equipped with all of the amenities necessary for a long day on the water. Comfortable stern seating provides a safe and secure place for passengers to relax when running through rough water and provides easy access to the bilge and batteries. If you're looking for a versatile fishing platform designed to run the beaches and sneak around in the backwater, we'll be taking a look at the Islamorada Boatworks Morada 24. A center console with an overall length of 24 feet, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and max horsepower rating of 400. Standout features on the Isamarrada Morada 24. A versatile hull design can handle rough water beautifully without losing the ability to stalk fish in shallow water. Easy systems access through a dual-entry front console door makes systems maintenance a breeze. Whether fishing the beaches or the backcountry, multiple live wells provide ample space for plenty of bait, ensuring you don't run out when the bite gets hot. If you're looking for a boat with European-like style and luxury combined with serious fishability, you'll want to see the Pronautica 29 Open. A center console with an overall length of 29 feet, a beam of 10 feet 1 inch, and max horsepower rating of 800. Standout features on the Pronautica 29 Open. When running offshore in rough weather, a rugged and seaworthy hull design will ensure that it's a comfortable and smooth ride for all passengers. When bringing multiple guests along, a spacious bow layout provides ample seating to ensure that everyone is comfortable. For long-range offshore trips, a large storage capacity provides plenty of space to keep gear and tackle dry and out of the way. Join our hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles as they conduct walkthroughs and review key features, all to help you decide if this is the best boat for you.
Welcome to another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat. I'm Captain Rick Riles.
And I'm Florida Sportsman Boating Editor George Labonte. Listen, every week we bring you a lot of variety, and this week is no exception.
We started with the Sea Chaser 22 HFC, went into the Islamorada Morada 24, and then how about that Pronautica 29 Open?
Let's start with the Sea Chaser 22. You know, picture the guy that's going to have a family. You know, you want to do a little bit of offshore fishing. This boat will get you out there, but you got the kids to worry about, and you're going to probably spend some time on the sandbar and doing that. It's a multi-purpose boat. We see them a lot. They're popular for a reason.
And you fit right into that boat. There's nothing scary about it. Now that Islamorada Morada 24, that thing just, wow, the fit and finish on a 24 bay boat you've never seen.
Yeah, lots of really fine details on that boat and a ride to match, man. That boat ran, it ate up the beach. It was such a cool boat to run. I had a lot of fun on it. What a cool boat. And finally, a new face in the crowd, the Pronautica 29 Open, okay? Here's a boat, this company started really in South America and building boats to cater to the European market. They're moving their operation up here and they're building boats to cater more to the American market. This is a very cool boat with a lot of Euro looks to it, but definitely fishable and definitely ran good too.
If you're in the market for a 29-foot boat, you've never seen it and you need to.
Okay, listen, there's a lot of boats to look at this week. You ready?
I was born ready.
All right, let's do it.
When we come back, hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles take a closer look at a boat designed to provide fun for the entire family, the Sea Chaser 22 HFC. This segment brought to you by Manta Racks. Take your boards.
Sometimes the best fishing lies in places that are difficult to access. Shallow water, no motor zones, motor restrictions, and rough water may stand between you and the best fishing. Manta Racks securely transports your paddle boards to these locations without damaging the boat or the SUP. Now, there's no place for fish to hide. Manta Racks. Go further.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles as they take a closer look at the Sea Chaser 22 HFC. Representing the 20 to 26 foot class in the center console category, the Sea Chaser 22 HFC has an overall length of 21 feet 9 inches, a beam of 8 feet 5 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 250. Designed for fun with the whole family, she has a draft of 14 inches, a dead rise of 16 degrees, a dry weight of 2,700 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 76 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, George Labonte and Rick Riles.
Cap, let me tell you something. I learned an important lesson this morning.
What's that?
Dude, I ran this boat offshore today, caught a kingfish, had a ball. There is something to be said for being on the water, not towering over the water, something to be said for being in a smaller, non-intimidating boat. Gosh, it was just Lori and I this morning. We had a blast.
It's a great family boat. I mean, this boat, think about it. You know, you've got the wife and kids want to go out on the boat. They don't always want to go out there and win a tournament or do something like that. You're going to have to spend some time just driving around, jump in the water, play around a little bit. Just take a ride on the Intercoastal if you want to go like you're going to the beach. The HFC, that stands for Hybrid Fish and Cruise. The way the boat's laid out, it's friendly for cruising and for fishing both at the same time.
I got to tell you, looking at the bow of this thing, this look has almost become standard on your 26, 28-foot center consoles. This wraparound seating here, even a table that goes in the middle, very comfortable for cruising. The Sea Chaser did a great job of bringing it to a little smaller boat.
Yeah, you don't very often see it on a 22-foot boat, and this boat does have the removable table. So, you know, you take the family out for a cruise a day like this at the sandbar, drop that table in, sit around here and eat lunch, you know. When you pull the table out of there, if you're driving around, you got these removable backrests, sit facing forward, kind of lounging around. Somebody else could sit right here. Seating for the family right here. Okay, time to take this thing fishing, get a little more serious. You can easily work a line around the front of the boat. Underneath this forward seating, you got 2 big storage compartments, one in the center also.
You can access the console from either the front, which I think is the easiest way to get in, or the side if you just want to grab something. But more important than that, they expanded this console by making a privacy curtain that comes up and around. You understand what I'm saying? Sure. Of course you're going to have a head if you're going to be taking the family.
And if you're not using it for that, you've got tons of storage in there as well. Well, buddy, there's a lot more going on in this boat than just up here. Why don't we move back to the center? All right, buddy, look it. We've got the classic T-top style offshore, you know, setup here. I mean, hard top, yeah. Very nice, going to give you plenty of shade, overhead electronics box. It's going to keep you out of the weather. Got a big dash panel right here. It's got plenty of room for a big MFD for your electronics there. Okay, now this comfortable seat right here, you got a flip down footrest right there. There's storage underneath it. Behind us here, there's a sink and a second live well. There's 2 live wells back here, but there's one right here and a sink right here as well. Let's take a look at this cockpit. You mind if I sit down here for a minute, my man?
Well, buddy, let me tell you something. If we're going to start swapping stories, so many of my best memories offshore are on small boats like this. There's just something exciting about battling big fish from a smaller boat.
You know, this is a perfectly capable boat of getting you out there to fish offshore, but again, we're back to the hybrid thing. Look at the seating we've got here. Removable backrest. We're back here having a good time, lounging around. Time to go fishing, time to get your grandkid out and get him that sail. Pop these things out, you got a regular cockpit like a fishing boat. I mean, this is a fishing boat back here and a cruising boat.
Exactly, and I'll tell you something else too. The boats that we started out on, the small boats, first off, they were a lot smaller than this, and second off, they weren't nearly this comfortable.
You know, you maybe not going to work on your motor every 100 hours, but there are going to be some things that you're going to have to work on your own boat, and access to all the systems in your bilge is easy right underneath where we're sitting.
Look at how live bait fishing changed offshore fishing in general. You can certainly do it on this boat. You got 2 live wells.
A boat this size with a 200 like this one is going to get great fuel economy. It's not going to kill you to take it fishing every weekend.
George, I learned a long time ago when it's rough, it's rough. I only want to be offshore when it's pretty anyway. There is a whole new thrill and a great way to start in doing it on a 22-foot boat.
You're absolutely right, and the Sea Chaser 22 HFC would be a great place to start.
When we return, hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles check out a trimmed-out bay boat that excels in all categories, the Islamorada Morada 24.
This segment brought to you by Infinity by Harman. It's all about the music.
Hey Dad, can we do that again tomorrow?
Don't forget your sunscreen.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join Rick Riles as he meets Yamaha technician Josh Martin to discuss the benefits of the brand new Yamaha 425 XTO offshore.
We're here at Mariner Marine with Yamaha tech Josh Martin. Josh, I knew from the get-go the XTOs were going to be fast. Everybody knew they were fast. Everybody knew they were powerful. One of the first things I noticed was no tie rods. Tell me about the steering.
Yeah, no tie rod incorporated on this engine. One nice feature is that it's got an electric steering motor that will actually move and lock the engine in place. So there's no more tie rod in there, no more hoses that can break, no more leaking helm, anything like that. So it really streamlines the rigging. You don't have a bunch of rigging in your bilge. Really opens up that area for a nice big generator, whatever you want to put in the bilge area.
Boy, it seems like so many people are falling in love with Helmmaster. How does Helmmaster work with no tie rods?
Yeah, one of the other features being that it has an exhaust gas relief system, and with that, coupled with that electric steering motor, the Helmmaster really responds. If you want to walk the boat sideways or actually stop on a dime, with these engines, they'll do it. It's really made the Helmmaster come alive, and especially for a lot of these bigger boats, they're easy to maneuver in and out of the docking areas and everything like that.
Okay, so far we've learned that they're more powerful and faster. The gears are bigger. They're not connected by tie rods. They have their own electric steering pumps. Man, it sounds to me like it's a whole new power plant.
Now, let's take a closer look at the Islamorada Morada 24. Representing the 17 to 24 foot class in the bay boat category, the Morada 24 has an overall length of 24 feet, a beam of 8 feet 6 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 400. Built for stealth and accessibility in shallow water, she has a draft of 13 inches, a dead rise of 20 degrees, a dry weight of 2,300 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 109 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, George Labonte and Rick Riles.
Cap, I'm so glad for a change that you and I got to ride together this morning. Now, if you think about it, normally one of us is on a camera boat and one of us is on the boat that we're filming, right?
Yeah.
Well, today we both got on the Islamorada Morada 24, and if I'd have told you how good it handled, you wouldn't have believed me. Well, a lot of boat manufacturers build a 24 bay boat. This one is different.
This boat actually has a 20-degree dead rise, which is not something you think of associating with bay boats. I mean, you don't really put dead rise into a bay boat typically because you want to go shallow. The boat will get you in 13 to 15 inches of water with that dead rise, and so it's not having that great of an impact on your shallow draftability. It definitely has an impact on the way the boat runs, all right? We were in the ocean today, and it was a pretty stiff little 2 to 3 foot chop. Picked our way through that stuff like it was nothing.
It's just quality from the bottom of the deck up.
Listen, we could go on and on for days about how pretty this thing is and how well it's built, but I'm sure there's someone that'd be interested to know just what kind of features we're standing on, what the boat has, that's gonna get you closer to the fish. Why don't we take a look around on the boat starting right here?
George, starting with the casting platform. All 24-foot bay boats have casting platforms, but you know what? When you step on the hatches, you get that little sag. You know where I'm going. Step on that one and tell me if you feel any sag.
You're 100% right, Rick. They built a lot of style into it. I mean, not all casting decks are built exactly the same. Nice radiuses up here. I mean, just the way the thing lays out. And, you know, little touches like these forward lifting boxes, which we've talked about on other boats that we've seen. It's a great design for getting in and out of the box when the boat's on a trailer, for example.
Let me tell you what I'd do to the console, Cap. I'd have a split door that opened from the front, okay? You've got a door to get to all your switches, the backup for your C-zone. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you can also do a full access door. That means you don't have to move that drink cooler every time you want to get in there.
Yeah, and you mentioned the C-zone. I mean, I've always been concerned about what happens when the backlight on your fish finder goes out. Now you can't see the switches. Well, on this one, you can switch it over to manual and go to analog switching, and you're back in business. This T-top is gorgeous. Let's have a look.
Tell you what, you start looking for outstanding things on this boat, you don't look very far past this metal work, do you?
You know, this comes from a shop here locally that is more known for building custom towers for big money, custom built sport fish boats, and the quality shows throughout the entire process here.
But back to your C-zone. You were teaching me about C-zone. I like it if it's got a backup. They use twin screens.
Anything worth doing is worth overdoing. There's two 12-inch screens here, and you can't have enough for me. I'd have a third one if I could fit it on here. But these two fit here nicely. I mean, it's really clean. It just oozes custom finish.
For the console, we've got a classic leaner here. This boat almost has a classic elegance about it.
Nice place to run the boat from. Most of the time spent on the front of the boat and the back of the boat because that's where all the fishing happens. We've got a very cool setup back here. Why don't we move back and have a look at it?
Let me tell you one thing you're not going to do, Cap. You're not going to build the ultimate 24-foot bay boat and mess it up back here. Boy, did they do a great job with this seating. I love the fact that it's actually 3 different bench seats, so if you're only taking one person with you, you know, Bob talked about what a great tournament redfish boat it is. You're going to want to be able to run through these accesses.
You've got 2 40-gallon spaces right here and a 30-gallon space in the center. Now those two, I mean, think about it, 80, 110 gallons of live well. I mean, tournament boat, fun fishing boat, whatever, you're never going to need more live well than that. I don't care what you're doing. You know, if you just need extra storage and you don't need all that live well, make these a storage box. Inside here, you've got access to the bilge. It's wide open, real easy to get to. I like it.
This is built to be your boat for as long as you fish. You'd never want a bay boat like this without 2 power poles.
If you're the guy that really likes to look good while you're out there fishing, but needs a boat that has serious tools, has got all the weapons you need to be an effective fisherman on the water, there's no way you can go without having a look at the Morada 24 by Islamorada Boatworks.
When we come back, hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles check out a new European-styled center console making its initial debut into the American market, the Pronautica 29 Open. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
An entirely new species of extreme predator is moving offshore. The Yamaha 5.6-liter V8 XTO offshore outboard. Extreme big block thrust and power in the industry's first direct injection 4-stroke. Quiet, efficient, powerful, and proven Yamaha reliability. More than an outboard, it's a fully integrated power system. The all-new Yamaha V8 XTO Offshore.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts Rick Riles and George Labonte as they check out the Pronautica 29 Open, representing the 31 to 53 foot class in the center console category. The Pronautica 29 Open has an overall length of 29 feet, a beam of 10 feet 1 inch, and a max horsepower rating of 800. Designed with a heavy sport fishing influence, she has a dead rise of 22 degrees, a dry weight of 10,798 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 211 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, George Labonte and Rick Riles.
All right, we're on a boat today that frankly got me feeling a little bit out of my element. This is a boat unlike most of the boats that we see on Best Boat, Rick. Say hello to the Pronautica 29 Open. Now, they're built in South America. They ship these boats. This particular boat, they build 60 boats a year and send them to Europe. This boat has got all the style you're ever going to need in a boat, but they're going to change it over to fit more of the fishing profile, the Florida boater. This 29 Open is going to be soon available as a 29 Sport Fish. It's a very exciting time for this company, and I think they're really going to get a foothold on the market here in the States.
Give me an idea on how it handled that nasty little 3-foot chop today.
Like a champ. Okay, this boat is a solid boat. There's a few reasons for that. It's a great hull design. I mean, there was nothing there that we had to be worried about. We ate up everything the ocean threw at us today. This entire console, the cap, the liner, the entire inside of the boat right here is all one piece. All right, you understand now what's that going to do for
Sure,
you?
there's not going to be any rattle.
There's not a rattle on the boat. You're basically blowing water out of your way. I mean, this boat's telling the ocean to move over, I'm coming through. Why don't we take a look at some of the features on this boat starting right up here. Clearly, this is a boat that loves to party. I mean, you can see it. You talk about 8 people sitting up here. You've got the spiller pad in right now, right? That's a sun lounge. I mean, a couple, you got your young girlfriends that you're always running around with, want to lay out in the sun. Okay, you got them set up there, but you take that out and have people just seated around the table that it comes with too. 8 people sitting up here hanging out, not a problem. You know what? This is still, I'm trying to look at it as a fishing boat. Take that out of there, look at the space you've got without the table in there. There is tons of room to fish in the front of this boat.
You talk about the number of people you can put on this boat, and it's a bunch, but you better have room to store all their stuff.
It starts right up here. You've got, and incidentally, everything insulated here. You've got 2 84-quart boxes underneath the seats here. That's a bunch of room. Inside this console, you lift this forward opening. There's a very large space inside the console to put a ton of gear. Also a head in there, obviously.
They've got lie deck all through the cockpit, even up on the platform.
Yeah, it really trims the boat out nice. There's a lot more style going on this boat. A bunch of it right here underneath the hard top. Why don't we move to the center of the boat? Okay, the word that keeps popping in my head here is style, and nowhere is the style more evident on the boat than underneath this top, all right? I was talking with the people from Pronautica. They just had this boat at the sandbar last weekend. They had 10 people on top of the hard top at the sandbar. You know this thing is rugged. It feels rugged when you're running it. If you're offshore and it's rough and you're going, I'm telling you, there is not a wiggle in this top. that look continues right into the console as well. I mean, just this modular looking spaceship kind of sports car look right here. Very comfortable place to run the boat from.
Something else I appreciated watching you running the boat too. You looked as comfortable sitting down as you did standing up.
A lot of boats you sit down and it's going to wear on your spine. When you're seated here at the helm running fast in that 3-foot chop, not a problem, not a worry. How about we move back to the cockpit? Okay. Great place to sit if you're out on that sandbar cruise or doing that. Not a great place to have seats if you want to fish on the boat, so obviously they're changing this SF model into a fishing boat. What they're going to do to accomplish that, they're removing this permanent seat, add a flip down seat and a pair of 50-gallon live wells in the corner. Now we're on a fishing boat again.
See, now you're talking.
Now I didn't mean to imply that this boat doesn't have a live well. There actually is a well on the boat right there in the corner, so you can fish on this boat too. Just because it's set up in the seating configuration doesn't eliminate the possibility of fishing on the boat. You know, another thing, when they close this off, this boat, you know, think about, we're back at the sandbar. It's got an easy pass through out onto this big fantail transom. Very nice to get in and out of the water on, hanging out like right here. I mean, a place to go for a swim. It's really conducive to that. Okay, to wrap it up, you don't think that they wouldn't have a bunch of storage back here. We've got a pair of 108-quart insulated boxes in the deck right there. There's a really big storage area right here in the center deck, which also provides access to your bilge systems. They've even got storage in this transom. This door opens up back here. You can put some water toys back there, your shore power cord, whatever. Storage all over the place in the back of the boat here.
If you want to be comfortable from the minute you leave the dock, the minute you step on this slide deck, to the minute you sit in that upholstery, to where you ride this great ride offshore, we love the way she ate it up, to when you come back to the dock and then look like $1,000,000 as you pull up to the marina or up to the tiki bar at night, the Pronautica 29 Open is one you have to look at. Cap, some days you just learn more than others. I learned a lot about boats today.
I hope you all learned something this week. Hey, if you want to learn anything about a boat you saw on this episode or any episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat, go to floridasportsman.com.
Or we'll see you next week on another episode of Florida Sportsman Best Boat.
When filming for Florida Sportsman Best Boat, the cast and crew docked and dined at Pirates Cove Marina in Stuart, Florida. Family owned and operated, featuring 50 renovated rooms with an outstanding restaurant and a full-service 50-slip marina.